Get ready to gear up. We're taking you inside high school sports, your home teams, your rivals. Taking you inside high school football like no one else. Inside all the action. Inside the excitement. Inside all the games that count. This is Whataburger's Inside High School Sports. Welcome to Whataburger's Inside High School Sports. I'm Pat Doney. Let's begin with a little history lesson. In 2007, Apple released the iPhone, 18 years ago. That's also the last time Aledo lost a district football game. 130 straight district wins. Denton Ryan beat Aledo last year in the playoffs and was looking to do it again, this time in district play. That's our Whataburger Game of the Week. Over the years, Aledo has felt really comfortable playing at the Collins Complex in Denton, but the Bearcats were not very comfortable on this play as the Aledo pass is intercepted by Arizona commit Zaire Hiller, and Hiller does the rest, streaking down the sideline, cutting back across the grain, avoiding would-be tacklers. That's a pick six, 52 yards on the return for Hiller there. Aledo now down 14-2, but they settle down. Caden Winkfield, a nice run, deep inside Ryan territory. And then Brady Powell gets the call, and Powell just muscles his way in for the score. Great individual effort there, and Aledo down just 5. That's when the Bearcats defense puts the pressure on Ryan. Bad snap goes over Quinn Hennigan's head, and Aledo's there to make sure he stays there. So Aledo gets the ball back, and Lincoln Tubbs makes him pay. Bowling his way in for the go-ahead score from a yard out. 2-point conversion, no good. Aledo leading by 1, though. And from there, the Bearcats' defense held serve. Aledo keeps their unbelievable district win streak alive at 131 straight wins by the slimmest of margins in this one. The Bearcats beat Denton Ryan 15-14 the final. With Denton Ryan at home, that other Denton powerhouse, the Geyer Wildcats, were on the road against Coppell. It didn't take long for Geyer to get the ground attack cranked up. On the second play of the opening drive, Caden Cobbs taking advantage of a big hole, 46 yards to set up the game's first score. The Wildcats up 7-0. Coppell would cut the lead to 1 with Ishan Mayer to Carter Zingelman. Outfights his defender in the end zone. 2-point conversion, no good, so it's 7-6. Just before halftime, Geyer stretches the lead to 21-6 as Carter Morgan finds his big tight end, Zane Rowe. He's in for the touchdown. After the intermission, though, Coppell would cut the lead in half with Zingelman, now at quarterback, buying some time here with a nice touch pass on this one here to Evan Mackin, but that's as close as they would get. The Geyer defense, led by Kyron Haywood, would slam the door shut on the way to a 35-21 win. Wylie East visiting Sachse. And it's always nice to see the mascots getting along in the game together. Second half, East up 17-7, 4th and 2. They're going for it. Jonathan Utober takes the Wildcat snap, gets 2 yards plus 47 more on a house call. That sets off the bubbles for the celebration. 24-7 Wylie East. Still in the third. Victor Ekpu goes in from a yard out. The Raiders up 31-7 after 3 with those sweet powder blue uniforms. Fourth quarter now. East back in the red zone. Jalen McLemore lofts one up to Amir Porter for the 11-yard touchdown. Wylie East is a top 9-6A with Naaman Forrest. The Raiders beat Sachse 38-7 the final. Michigan commit Zion Robinson and his Mansfield Tigers, a good Friday night matchup with rival Mansfield Lake Ridge. First play of the game, a mistake by the Eagles. Lake Ridge loses the football right into the hands of Jaden Vincent, who returns it inside the 5. 2 plays later, Jaden Vasquez punches it in. Mansfield takes the 7-0 lead. Lake Ridge answers right back, though. Jalen Robinson taking the handoff, scooting around the outside, makes a cut, and he's in for the score. And then it's Mansfield's turn. Micah Langford, the crossing route to Robinson. Tigers led this one at 1 point, 21-7. Final play before the half now. Edwards going to throw one up, and big Cameron Jackson comes down with it. That sparks a huge second-half comeback. Lake Ridge scores 37 straight and wins it 44-21 the final. Damian Gross missed the beginning of the season with a back injury, but he's back now, and the Rangers are clicking on all cylinders. Case in point, Thursday night against undefeated Frisco. First drive of the game, Trey Wright, 42 yards to Zach Forbish, 7-0 Lone Star. And head coach Jeff Rayburn's fired up about that. Still in the first, handoff goes to Carice Hoyt. He's up the gut, 29 yards for the score. Hoyt rushed for 226 yards in the game. Rangers up 20-0. Frisco would put up some points as well. Corbin Harbert to Lowry Asel. Asel goes in and out of traffic. This is a 66-yard touchdown. The Raccoons trailed 27-14. Second quarter now. Wright throwing the screen to Hoyt, who's going to jog into the end zone for his 5th touchdown of the night. Lone Star remains undefeated with a 55-35 win. To a fantastic rivalry matchup as Plano was taking on rival Plano West in a city showdown. Great start for Plano's defense. They come up with a goal line stand on 4th down. But just a few plays later, Plano West defense makes a play as well. The tackle in the end zone for a safety. That makes it 5-0 Plano West. That's when West quarterback Jordan Grant takes over and takes off. Down the sidelines, this is a 73-yard touchdown run to extend the Plano West lead. What a turnaround story at Plano West. They went 0-10 last year, but are now 5-1 this season after beating Plano 35-14, your final score. The Liberty Christian Warriors welcomed in Canyon West Plains out of Amarillo. West Plains, the number 2 ranked team in the state in Class 4A. West Plains jumped out to a 14-0 lead after Lawson Betancourt takes the little reverse toss play around the left side for a score. But the Warriors, led by Jason Witten, did not panic as they mount a comeback. Correll Buckhalter going to take the handoff, bounce to the outside, do a little skip move to avoid a tackler. He's in for the touchdown. Liberty Christian sends West Plains back to Amarillo with their first loss of the season. Liberty Christian gets the win, 41-35. It is not easy to make plays under the Friday night lights in Texas, but it takes a special athlete to excel on both offense and defense. This week's Parker University MVP does just that. It's Jalen Lott from Frisco, Panther Creek. Panther Creek athlete Jalen Lott isn't only nice on the gridiron, he might be too nice. The two-way player is dazzling at wide receiver and defensive back. As a receiver, Lott caught 85 passes for over 1,100 yards and 16 touchdowns his junior year. Through 5 games this season, he has 22 catches for 558 yards and 12 touchdowns. Defensively, Jalen can cover the opponent's best receiver and make the player have a tough night. Lott is also a champion in track as he excels in the high jump and the long jump. Jalen committed to Oregon this past summer. He makes plays all over the field, and Jalen is now in studio with us with his brand new bobblehead, man. Congratulations. What do we think of the bobblehead here now?
Thank you. It's great. Like, it just looks overly like me. So, being able to see this, and I'm really proud of myself, being able to get to this point. Being able to be here. So thank you.
It's well-deserved, man. It has been so awesome watching the plays you make on both sides of the ball, as we mentioned in the story. And let's talk about that. How much pride do you have in the fact that you're impacting the game in both offensive and defensive ways? And how much do you love doing that for your team?
Like you said, I really do love doing that just because I feel like it helps us, the whole team in general, and not just myself. I feel like being able to impact the ball on both sides, just kind of helps out us a lot. And, just being able to see myself make plays, feel like I'd be able to step up, maybe when other players can't do it, or when everybody else is tired, being able to step up and definitely, but it's also my team definitely pushing me.
Yeah.
It's more of like a mental thing, instead of just, stuff like that.
But you're making plays not just on the football field, too. As we mentioned, it's also a track thing. I mean, this guy is an unbelievable track athlete as well. I mean, what are your plans with track going forward? Because you have serious options in football and in track in your future as well.
Definitely, doing my last year track is definitely big for me. And, I want to be able to win high jump and long jump this year for state. And I might do hurdles. I know my parents want me to do them, but I want to be able to, fully be able to commit myself into winning those this time around.
And that leads me into my next question, because I'm wondering, how has track helped you in football, do you think? Has it made you a better athlete on the football field because of what you do in track?
Definitely, for sure. And I say the biggest thing about track, me doing jumps and stuff, is my explosiveness, which has definitely helped me. And obviously the speed part of it, but I feel like the explosiveness of me being able to, make plays and jumping and stuff like that, I feel like that stuff becomes natural for me just because, I do the jumps and stuff like that.
And it helps on the field, and it helps your team. Man, your team has been rolling so far this year. Take me inside that locker room. What's it been like playing there for your squad?
Definitely, last year, those are the same kids I played with last year. And we're now all seniors, and so we have definitely a lot of chemistry. So, being able, you can definitely feel like the family inside the room and stuff like that. So, you know, us getting on the field, it's just everything feels natural. Everybody's making plays, especially our defense. Like, it just feels like everybody's together right now. So I feel like that's what's taking us really far this year.
Yeah, you're making a lot of plays, too, man. That helps a lot for sure. It's been so fun to watch you so far. Congratulations on the bobblehead.
Thank you.
Can't wait to watch what you do the rest of this year, too, as well.
Thank you.
All right, when we come back, we have more Week 6 highlights. And our Inside Story takes a look at another outstanding receiver in the North Texas area. Stay with us. The Kubota Country Roads led us to the Ford Center in Frisco as Panther Creek was taking on Paris. Panther Creek going with Tristan Schramm at quarterback to replace the injured Graylin Fry. First quarter, he does the wise thing. Handed off to Texas Tech commit Donovan Webb for the touchdown. Panthers up 7-0. Paris would score on its next possession, but the extra point is blocked. Check out Caden Green scooping it up, heading left. Nobody's there, no room there. Turning it all the way back around the other way. A lot of room there. This only counts as 2 points, but it gave the Panthers, well, a bigger lead in the game. It was over 100 yards running on this play. 9-6 Panther Creek. Then Schramm got to show off his arm. Free play here. That means throw it up to Jalen Lott and let him score. 30 yards on that play. 16-6 Panther Creek. Second quarter, Schramm across the middle to Lott. It's almost like he knew he was getting a bobblehead in this show, right? 7 catches, 135 yards, 3 scores. Panther Creek wins it 51-12. Highland Park's Buck Randall's averaging 343 yards passing a game. His Scots took on Red Oak, and Buck was firing early. First quarter of a 7-7 game, Randall dumps it off to Matthew White, who takes it in for the short 5-yard score. Highland Park up 14-7. Second quarter now. Randall going deep, down the sideline, to White again. And White races down the sidelines for a 65-yard score. Scots up 21-7. Red Oak gets it a little closer as Billy Middleton III would love to pass, but options 1 and 2 are covered, so he's out of here. That's a 6-yard touchdown run. The Hawks only down 21-14. Late second quarter now. Randall flushed out of the pocket, throws on the run, and it's White again, this time with a diving touchdown catch. Buck Randall threw for 379 yards and 6 scores. Highland Park wins it 52-35. DeSoto's Ethan Feaster cut his teeth in Louisiana, but it took a move to North Texas to make him a football star. Our Kia Inside Story tells us about the athlete everyone knows as Booby.
The birth certificate says Ethan Feaster, but high school football fans know him as Booby. And anyone who's a fan of the movie or book, Friday Night Lights, can probably figure out where that moniker came from.
We were watching Friday Night Lights, and when he was born, I gave him the name. My wife hated it, but it really started to stick. He was 4 years old. He was playing on the flag team.
The night before my championship game, I was watching Friday Night Lights, and my dad was already calling me Booby. But, you know, I had seen a quote, if you want to win, put Booby in. We was on offense. It was for us to win the game. I told my godfather, Kelvin Sims, I was like, if you want to win, put Booby in. And ever since then, everybody around the country started calling me Booby.
His dad has always coached defense. So Ethan got started playing on the defensive line when he was growing up in Louisiana. But one day, unbeknownst to his dad, one of Ethan's youth coaches gave him a chance at running back. And, well, he kind of took a liking to it.
I came to practice late one day. He had him at running back. Apparently, they had talked about it behind my back the whole time. And he messed around and got a taste of a touchdown. And after he got a taste of a touchdown, that was kind of it.
Once they put me at running back when I turned 8 years old and I got that first touchdown, it was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. I want to go score a touchdown. So.
And while Ethan can still play some defense and make an impact, his heart will never leave the offensive side of the ball. His family moved to the DeSoto area about 7 years ago, and he's been focusing on becoming an offensive playmaker ever since. He's developed into one of the best wide receivers in America. And while the physical tools of this 6'1", 180-pounder are pretty easy to see, what most fans might not understand is what a cerebral player Ethan is.
Runs great routes, has great hands, very precise in his route running. Always working on his craft to try to be great. But more importantly, man, He is so gifted when it comes to knowing his opponent.
I learned at a young age football is a mind game. It's definitely 80% mental, 20% physical. So, I try to play mind games with the DB always. One thing I pride myself on is knowing what the lineman has to do, knowing what the running back has to do, and knowing what the receiver has to do, and the quarterback. So that's probably the biggest thing, just knowing what everybody has to do.
But he's such a great teacher. This is what people don't understand about him. He's so smart and precise. He knows defenses, he knows offenses, because he studies. And I can tell you, he's another coach on the football field. That's what he is, and that's what makes him so special.
Ethan always does his homework, not just for football, but also in the classroom, where he has enough credits that he'll graduate high school a year early. So this is his third and final season of high school football. Booby is committed to the USC Trojans, largely because of the coaching staff that has been on him for a long time.
I've had a close relationship with Coach Wylie and Coach Simmons since my 7th grade year. They didn't see me grow from a freshman to all the way, now my senior year. So those my guys.
Feaster will not even turn 17 years old until May. So he'll be a very young freshman next season and still has room to grow. However, sooner or later, USC fans just might be saying, if you want to win, put Booby in.
My biggest thing, is just taking care of my folks. But not only that, being a Hall of Famer, being the greatest to come through the DeSoto, and be arguably one of the greatest to come through Texas.
Up next, we hit the volleyball court and go next level with an Eagle Mountain standout. Stay with us. Welcome back to Whataburger's Inside High School Sports. Nebraska women's volleyball is no joke. They hold the record for the largest crowd to watch a volleyball match, with over 92,000 fans at a game in 2023. Our Kenny Matthews tells us in our Next Level segment, when Eagle Mountain's Keone Williams got an offer to play for the Huskers, it was one she could not refuse.
With the popularity of volleyball reaching epic levels, the athletes have raised their games as well. You have one of the absolute best in middle blocker, Keone Williams from Eagle Mountain High School. She's one of the elite blockers in the nation. Her defensive presence stands out the most, as she has averaged 1.2 blocks per set over her first 2 years in high school. This decorated player has astronomical stats coming into her junior year. 1,000 career kills, 400 plus career blocks. She's one of the top hitting percentages in the state of Texas. She was last year's district blocker of the year. Keone is the future building block for this highly rated class for the University of Nebraska for 2027. Keone also represented her country this past summer, playing for the under-21 USA national team. The number 4 ranked player in the nation still has work to do before her college career begins. She will try her best to lead the new Eagle Mountain High School ladies to a historical run in the playoffs. Keone has one great attribute you cannot teach: the ability to block shots at an elite level. If you try to get one by her, it will come back, return to sender.
Thank you, Kenny. Up next, we take a look back at some of the best plays from last week. Stay with us. That's it for this week's show. But before we go, a reminder that this Thursday morning, Cricket presents The Warm-Up. Neil Beasley and Professor Diggs break down all the big games in the area and get you ready for the upcoming week of Texas high school football. But now we leave you with some of the best plays from the week in our Plays of the Week segment.